na tong mga excuse letter that we are being accepted by this committee. I think they have a new scheme being employed by the resource persons. Before, sila yung mga nagpapa-hospital, sila yung nagbibigay ng different excuses. But this time, we need to validate this excuse of Miss Attorney Zuleika Lopez. As much as I wanted to believe her excuse, no? But I think yung pong aunt niya that is living in the United States can possibly stand on their own, especially the healthcare system of the United States. And the testimony of Zuleika Lopez is so crucial on this investigation. And if we were going to allow this excuse of her, then other resource persons might follow, no? And we're also running out of time because come December and January, we won't be able to conduct hearings anymore. So I think as much as I wanted to agree with the humanitarian reason that being employed by this letter, I think let's not accept this letter anymore, Mr. Chairman. They can always run. They can always run. But they cannot hide anymore, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Dan. Deputy Speaker, JJ Suarez.
Actually, I am also one with the position of Congressman Fernandez, given that the committee has already exercised patience and understanding in these resource persons. I mean, wag din natin kakalimutan, Mr. Chair, na mga public officials po ito. Trabaho po nila yung umattend, dumalo, para may paliwanag kung paano ba nagastos yung ilang mga pondo na pinag-uusapan po natin dito. However, in the same way, Mr. Chair, when I was reading the letter of Attorney Zuleika Lopez, ang nabanggit niya po kasing dahilan doon ay ipinapakiusap ng kanyang tiyahin na makasama siya habang nasa ospital sa ibang bansa. At lahat naman po tayo, may mga pamilya po tayo, because of humanitarian reasons and you know, maybe we can extend a little bit more our understanding if my fellow committee members would accept my explanation. We can accept the letter of Attorney Zuleika Lopez, but only until our next committee hearing, Mr. Chair. Dahil ako naman po ay reasonableng tao, kasi lang siyempre may hangganan. Ngunit kung ang hinaharap naman po ng isang individual ay talaga namang isang dahilan na hindi maiiwasan, siguro po sa susunod na pandinig ng committee hearing, wala na po siguro siyang dahilan para hindi dumalo. Para po ito kay Attorney Zuleika Lopez, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman, Deputy Speaker JJ Suarez.
Mr. Chair. Kasi natatawa po ako dito talaga sa dokumentong to. Siya lang ba po ba yung pamangkin ng tita niya? Wala na po ba ibang pamangkin? Wala na po ba siyang asawa na padadala? Because we are tackling so much issues about her. And this is a clear evasion, Mr. Chairman. Hindi po to justified, itong letter na to. And at the same time, I'm pretty confused with this caser permanente. Ngayon ko lang po nakita tong Xerox copy na to that was sent to us. At yung mga status report that being mentioned in here, I think this is not justifiable, Mr. Chairman. Most likely, ginawa lang nila to or whatever. But I hope this is true. Because if this is not true, and we will be able to validate the truthfulness of this report, status report, di ba? Additional problem for her. So Anyway, dahil malaki rin po respeto ko kay DS JJ, sige po, I'll be, hindi naman po ako nag-motion. That is my manifestation, Mr. Chairman. So, I will agree with the position of the whole body, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Insofar as Attorney Zulaika Lopez, maybe we can ask the COMSEC to issue another subpoena, at least to give her one more chance. Do I hear a motion from the member for the reissuance of subpoena ad testificandum insofar as Attorney Zulaika Lopez only is concerned? Do I hear a motion?
Mr.
So
Chair,
moved, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Acop.
Since we have discussed the situation of Attorney Lopez,
No, we still have to
yes,
move for a
and,
motion.
for humanitarian consideration, may I move that we issue another subpoena to Attorney Zulaika Lopez for the next hearing. So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion by Congressman Acop for the reissuance of subpoena ad testificandum insofar as Attorney Zulaika Lopez is concerned. Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Now, insofar as the four others witnesses or resource persons that we already cited in contempt, as far as Edward Fajarda, Attorney Sunshine Fajarda, at sino pa ba? Gina Acosta, and Attorney Limuel Ortoño, we find their excuse as unacceptable, considering the fact that, like for example, in the case of Edward Fajarda, according to him, he is on official travel to monitor inventories and documents on November 10 to 15. However, the subpoena was issued to him and was received by him personally, according to COMSEC, last November 8. So, medyo lame po yung excuse niya. Ganon din po dun sa iba.
Mr. Chair, if I may be recognized.
Yes, Congressman J.J. Suarez, Deputy
Yeah.
Speaker.
Binabasa ko po itong pinadala ni Mr. Edward Fajarda. Hindi ko nga alam kung siya nagpadala nito. Basta ang nakasulat lang po dito ay travel order niya signed by Assistant Chief of Staff Lemuel Ortoño. Am I correct, COMSEC, na ito lang po yung pinadala ni Mr. Fajarda?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, in other words, Mr. Chair, wala man lang siyang paliwanag personally or in writing to the committee as to why he is not available today. Rather, what was submitted to the committee was a travel order signed by the Chief of Staff, or does he also have a personal letter signed sent to the committee, COMSEC?
Your Honor, apologies, Your Honor. It is on the last page of the file that you are holding. There's a letter signed by Mr. Edward Fajarda himself. Last page, Your Honor.
Dami kasing excuse, kaya...
May I
Medyo
proceed to
makapal
read,
eh.
Your Honor, to make it easier for the members?
No. We can get to that. Ito. Yeah, so in the same purpose, Mr. Chair, well, thank you that he has sent a letter. In the same purpose, Mr. Chair, I believe that the topic at hand is so important that a trip to Caraga can actually be rescheduled just so that he can attend today's hearing. Natanggap niya naman po yung subpoena sa kanya. At alam niya naman po na previous to the subpoena that was received, he received it also via email. Other than that, he's been invited numerous times to attend the same hearing in the weeks past. So it is my position, Mr. Chair, that with regards to the letter of Mr. Edward Fajarda, this is unacceptable for the committee, Mr. Chair.
Ganun din po sa iba, sa tatlo pa.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, actually, yun nga,
Mr. Chairman.
actually, yeah, Mr. Chair, Dan Fernandez.
Kasi
Yes, Congressman Dan Fernandez.
I'm reading the certificate of appearance of Attorney Sunshine Chari Paharda. And the excuse that was mentioned here was nag-appear siya sa Office of the Vice President sa Panay and Negros Island noong November 5 and 9. And attached here, andito po yung mga tickets. Well, ang question po natin, hindi ba nila pwedeng gawin sa ibang araw? Yung kanilang pagbisita doon sa kanilang Panay Negros Island. And at the same time, there are no valid reason why they have to personally visit yung kanila pong opisina doon sa Panay. What is so important in that visitation that was conducted between November 5 and 9? So I think this also evasion, and they're trying to evade our hearings. And nakakalungkot lang po. They're trying to run and hide and not to be with us. So,
And the activities is scheduled on November 5 to 9. Today is November 11.
yes, correct.
So
And-
tapos na yung activities nila.
Yeah, and there's no
dapat
reason,
umattend po siya
to
ngayon.
attend here. And I agree with the DS that this is not acceptable.
In addition, Mr. Chair, doon sa sinabi ni Congressman Fernandez, medyo nakakapagtaka dahil pare-parehas silang umalis. Pare-parehas silang may travel order, pare-parehas silang pinahintulutan na umalis sa araw na may hearing tayo. Now, it makes me think that there's actually a malicious intent behind all these reasons and travel orders given to them, just so that they can again avoid attending today's hearing, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Isidre.
Mr. Chair, I just want to put it on record, no? Because I remember during the last hearing, the same persons that we've cited in contempt actually made a statement refusing to recognize this committee, or refusing to attend to this committee for the reasons as stated in a statement that was read in the previous hearing. I think I want to put it on record that by writing to this committee, they're basically waiving that position and recognizing. Therefore, I see no reason, Mr. Chair, that in subsequent hearings of the committee, they would be excused any longer, since they have already recognized implicitly or explicitly by the correspondence they submitted, and I concur with the earlier decision to recite the following persons in contempt.
Thank you. Kaya po, meron pa po bang gustong mag-comment? Okay na.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Acop.
I read the excuse letter of Madam Fajarda. And her reason was not, he was not able to receive the subpoena. So, if, yes, ito po yung letter niya eh. I am writing to respectfully inform you that I was not able to receive the subpoena, which was attempted to be served last 8 November 2024. But if we look at the travel order of Attorney Fajarda, it was from 05 to 09 November 2024. So pwedeng wala pa siya kasi nasa travel pa siya. So how do we go about this, Mr. Chair?
Comsec?
Good afternoon, Your Honors. In relation to that, as a report, I would refer to my previous report earlier that despite personal service and their refusal to physically receive the subpoena, the Secretariat made the substituted service through the electronic mails of Attorney Zulaika Lopez and Attorney Sunshine Fajarda. And on the same date, on November 8, 2024, or on it was a Friday, or Your Honor, after sending the electronic mail containing the subpoena ad testificandum, Your Honor, the Secretariat deemed it prudent to ensure that there would be a delivery receipt once it is actually successfully delivered by the house server. So at 1:42 p.m. on November 8, 2024, we received confirmation from the postmaster at ovp.gov.ph, the server of the Office of the Vice President, confirming that our email containing the subpoena ad testificandum has been delivered to the electronic mail of Attorney Sunshine Fajarda at sunshine.fajarda@ovp.gov.ph, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, with the indulgence of Chairman ako.
Yes, Congressman Dan Fernandez.
Lagi na pong practice yan eh. They refuse to accept the invitation. And this representation wanted to find out who that person is and who ordered him not to accept the invitation.
May I, Your Honor? I'll just look into the report. On November 7, there was on November 8, the person who refused to receive the subpoenas for Attorney Zulaika and Attorney Fajarda per the report of the Legislative Service Bureau. It was certain Attorney Emily Torrentina from the Legislative Affairs Division of
Ayun.
the OVP.
Mr. Chairman, can we invite that person as well? And for us to find out why babae ba siya? Oh ma'am, andito po pala kayo. Why did you refuse to accept the
Your Honor, oath has not been administered. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, can we administer the oath of those first time that attended this hearing?
Mr. Chair,
Ipautan
if I
natin
may.
silang lahat. Comsec, pwede po ba paki-out na lahat sabay-sabay?
Thank you, Your Honors. To all the resource persons, including Attorney Emily Torrentira, please stand up, including Attorney Emily Torrentira. But since you are willing to testify, Your Honor, and give your statements, Your Honor, it was requested that she will be giving her oath as well, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, respectfully,
Please administer the oath first.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this inquiry, Your Honor? I do. The oath has been administered for the resource persons, Ms. Rabago, Mr. Tenido, Attorney Sanchez, and Ms. Villa del Rey. However, Attorney Emily Torrentira refuses to take her oath, Your Honors.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering why attorney, what's the name of that person?
Attorney Emily
Emily
Torrentira
Torrentira, Your
refused to
Honor.
raise her hand for the oath taking. Can we ask her why she refuses to take her oath?
may I, Mr. Chair,
You can
Your
all sit down,
Honors.
ma'am. Upo na po.
Thank you.
Bakit
Your
daw po
Honor.
ayaw ninyo mag-take ng oath?
No, Your Honor, I am not refusing to take the oath. Prior to being asked to take the oath, I was trying to explain, Your Honor, that I am not an invited resource person. Second, that I have only been asked now to explain why there was no receipt for subpoena for the persons who are not present here. That is what I am trying to say, Your Honors, respectfully. I just wanted to explain that as part of the Legal Affairs Division of the office, I wanted to explain why we did not receive. In accordance with the rules governing inquiries in aid of legislation, wherein the rules of court suppletorily applies. Rule 14 in relation to Rule 21 of the Rules of Court, Your Honors, personal service must be made to resource persons who are being issued subpoena. With that, Your Honor, they being not present in the office at that time, no person can receive on their behalf, and hence there will be no proper service. Respectfully, Your Honors.
Well, we accept that that guidelines, no, that you mentioned a while ago. But you all know that this is an aid of legislation, and the reason why we are trying to course this invitation to the office of the president, we discussed this lengthily already, and the testimony of attorney Lopez is so important to us. And also si Paharda. And I think, Mr. Chairman, with this kind of explanation that being manifested by Attorney Tolentino, as much as we accept that that premise of her, but somehow we are all guided with moral decency, no? That somehow, sana
Mr.
naman
Chairman,
umattend naman po sila dito kahit na sabihin po natin that yun nga po, ito po yung sinasabi nung inyong minention a while ago, but I think somehow sa akin personally that is not accepted. And isang tanong lang, attorney, have somebody told you not to accept all those invitations?
No, Your Honor. It was a.
So it's
It is in accordance with the rules, Your
so
Honor.
it's your own
Attorney,
volition.
we will recognize you later because hindi po kayo nag-take ng oath. Okay na
Mr.
po.
Chairman,
You've already said your piece.
Thank
Mr.
you, Your
Chairman.
Honor.
Congressman
may I
Paduano,
ask
you're
the
recognized.
good attorney, what is your role in this? You are not invited, but you are present at today's hearing, and you never take your oath.
as
Why?
legal counsel.
What is your presence?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, I am the Chief of Legal Affairs of the Office of the Vice President.
So,
I am here to represent the institution, Your Honor.
so you are here to represent the institution. You should, before talking, you should take your oath, because that is on record. You're a lawyer. You know that. You cannot speak unless until you take your oath. That's the rule, internal rules of this House and this committee. You cannot speak unless you take your oath, or else I will move to excuse you in this room.
Your Honor, if I may,
Um,
Mr. Chair.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Mr.
What is,
Chair,
what is your point of order?
yeah, I take the position of Congressman Paduano. I really don't know why she's here. Has she forwarded any explanation written as to her attendance?
Hindi, Mr.
Comsec.
Chairman,
No,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, a while ago she was trying to tell us that she is the representative of the office of the Vice President. And if you are the representative of the Vice President, you have this reason to take your oath as well.
No, but other than that, Mr. Chair, before we can even proceed to asking her to take her oath, has she communicated officially to the committee that she is indeed representing the office of the Vice President? Is there any letter that whereby Attorney Tolentino is given authority to represent the office of the Vice President, Comsec?
None, Your Honor.
Did you submit your authority?
If I may, Your Honor,
Yes,
respectfully,
please.
Mr. Chair, can we just call for a 5-minute suspension? Kausapin muna natin kung ano ba talaga kasi
5-minute suspension
Mr.
declared
Chairman.
by the chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Committee hearing resumes. Congressman Paduano.
thank you, Chairman. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, since the good lawyer has no written authority coming from the Vice President. Second is that she never take her oath. So, Mr. Chairman, first, I move that we strike out all, on record, all the statement being made by the good attorney.
Seconded.
There's a motion raised by Congressman Paduano, duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
And second, Mr. Chairman, I move that we excuse the good lady attorney in this room and to request the SAA to escort the good attorney outside of this room. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded.
There's a motion to excuse the good attorney from this room, which is duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Mr. Chair, if I may respectfully request
You're not, you're out of order. You're not regular.
Mo, Chair, para hindi siya makapagsalita.
being
Suspend mo.
Suspend ko na lang.
Your Honor,
1 minute suspension. Nakamute. Paki-excuse na lang po yung paki-excuse na lang po muna yung ating abogado.
Tapang-tapang ni Paduano pinalabas mga kababayan, pinalabas yung yung babae. Yung pinag-iinitan po ni Paduano. Oh. Si Paduano, kala mo na drama lang siya Nung pag-break kanina, tapang-tapangan siya, taas niya kagad yung kamay niya, ibig sabihin niya, palabasin niyo yan. Sabi yung gano'n. Mga dramatista mga kababayan, sa totoo lang, hindi naman galit yung mga yan Nagagalit-galitan lang yan sila kasi yan ang utos sa kanila. Di ba? Tagal ng break nyo, dalian nyo naman, nag-aabang kami sa inyo, mga yawa kayo. Na. Pakasimula pa lang Panay na kayo break, wala pa nga kayo napapag-usapan Diba? Wala pang matinong napapag-usapan, break na agad ang break. Putang na naman kayo. Kaya matataas ng mic ko. Ayan. Hala, nagwawala na si Paduano. Oo. Nabasa kasi hindi pa nakakatikim ng konyat ni PL yan, mga kababayan Napansin niyo si Dan Fernandez? Hindi na siya masyadong maangas ngayon, Saka hindi na rin siya masyadong nag-i-English ganun. Kasi na siya
Committee hearing resumes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Congressman J.J. Suarez, you're recognized.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang po ilagay sa tamang perspective yung dahilan kung bakit po pina-excuse po natin yung isang individual na dumalo sa ating hearing. Baka po kasi magkaroon ng misunderstanding why she was excused from our hearing. Number one, she was not invited to attend today's hearing. Number two, she did not take her oath. So we don't even know the personalities and the circumstances to why she is here. And no communication was forwarded to the committee as to her attendance. For all we know, she can be somebody posing for somebody, and the committee cannot act on mere presentation without proper representation to the said committee, Mr. Chair. So para lang po maunawaan ng lahat kung bakit po natin pinakiusapan na ma-excuse yung isang individual na nagpakilala na Attorney Tolentino. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Wala na po bang sasalita? Comsec?
Chairman, permission to excuse. Chairman, permission to excuse.
Yes,
There's a
Congressman Paduano, your excuse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Comsec?
Your Honor, may we recognize Honorable Joseph Jojo Lara from the 3rd District of Cagayan and Deputy Majority Leader Honorable Frances Pumarin from the 3rd District of Quezon City. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the... I will recognize you later, but we will proceed to the item in our agenda. Good morning. Once again, we are here today in the 5th hearing of the House Blue Ribbon Committee for the continuation of the deliberations on the following matters. Number 1, privilege speech number 379 of Congressman Rolando Valeriano on September 3, 2024 on asserting the power of the purse of Congress. And 2, the motu proprio inquiry on the manifestation of Representative Jingy Luistro during the budget hearing of the Department of Education before the House Committee of Appropriation on September 2, 2024. Our ongoing inquiry was propelled by Representative Valeriano's demand to look into the Vice President's non-transparency and refusal to answer questions by the legislative on her utilization of public funds entrusted to her office, and the observation manifested by Representative Luistro concerning issues plaguing DepEd's budget utilization. Unfortunately, in the past 4 hearings of the Blue Ribbon Committee, all of the public officials involved in the utilization of public funds in the OVP, including confidential funds that were granted to it in 2022 and 2023, have not graced us with their presence. Nevertheless, we have diligently inquired into and examined available documents from the COA, DBM, and other government agencies in our past 4 hearings, and we are fortunate that other public officials from DepEd, COA, DBM, BTR, and even the AFP have provided valuable assistance as resource persons in our investigation to help us piece together and verify how public funds have been used in the DepEd and the OVP. Ngunit marami pa po tayong katanungan ukol sa pinagamitan ng ating public funds. Ang mga dokumentong nakalap natin ay hindi pa lubusang naipaliwanag, halimbawa kapansin-pansin na sa mga liquidation report ng confidential funds ng OBP ay pinalalabas rito na may confidential funds na napunta umano sa provision of medical and food aid bilang rewards. Nahigit or iba pa sa mga nire-report na medical at food aid ng OBP ng DepEd na may ginamit na confidential fund sa mga youth leadership summits na kanilang regular na isinasagamit na confidential fund sa mga youth leadership summits na kanilang regular na isinasagawa. What we needed were answers from the Office of the Vice President and those persons who were themselves involved in the utilization of public funds, particularly the confidential funds of the OVP and DepEd. Makilang beses nilang iginigiit na nakasaad na ang kanilang mga paliwanag sa mga dokumenteng isinumite na nila sa COA. Ngunit sa ating mga nakita sa pagdinig na ito, hindi sapat na nagsumite lamang sila ng mga dokumento sa COA. Lalong-lalo na kapag ang mga dokumentong ito mismo ang kino-question or hinahanapan ng paliwanag. There are questions that the documents themselves can't answer. This is why we need the presence of these officials. Sila lang po makakasagot sa mga katanungan natin. Nais nating maging patas. Napakaraming pagkakataon na ang binibigay sa OVP, more than sufficient opportunity, ika nga. Ngunit hindi naman napapalampas ang anumang pagharang sa lehislatura na alamin kung saan ginastos ang pondo ng bayan. Sa panglimang pagkakataon ay pinatawag po natin uli ang mga concerned officials ng OVP, pati ang Special Disbursing Officer ng DepEd na si Edward Fajarda upang magbigay linaw sa mga dokumentong nakalap ng ating investigasyon. Sa araw na ito, hindi po muna tayo nag-iimbita ng ibang resource person at nang mabigyan natin ng sapat na oras ang lahat ng mga katanungan sa mga pinatawag natin ng mga officials ng OVP. At magkaroon din sila ng sapat na oras para sumagot sa ating mga katanungan. Maraming salamat po. We will now proceed to the...
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
may I be
Congressman
recognized,
Jill.
Mr. Chair?
Recognize.
Before we proceed with our deliberation, may I just raise this concern, Mr. Chair? On our agenda for today, item number 3, number 2, which refers to the motu proprio inquiry or inquiry on the manifestation of Representative Jervil Jinky Beatrix Luistro was made on September 10, 2024. And I am certain, Mr. Chair, that this is a result of a typographical or clerical error, which was indicated in today's agenda. Given that, Mr. Chair, may I ask that the agenda be amended to correct this typographical or clerical error and reflect the actual and true date in accordance with Section 106 of the Rules of Procedure of the 19th Congress, which states, when any matter is under consideration, a motion to amend and a further motion to amend the amendatory motion shall be in order. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Again, Mr. Chair, in addition, considering that there's this clerical error in relation to this agenda, I move that my motion be extended to all agenda and or transcript of proceedings for these proceedings of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. In particular, Mr. Chair, I move that the committee secretary review the agenda and transcript of proceedings dated September 18, September 25, October 17, and November 5. To be precise, Mr. Chair, I am asking that any reference to the date of Congressman Luistros' manifestation subject of the motu proprio inquiry be reflected as having been made on September 2, 2024, the actual date of the Committee on Appropriations budget deliberation, and not September 10, 2024, or any other date. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Any other concerns? Meron pa po ba? There's none. We will now proceed to the next item in the agenda. We will now proceed to the interpellation proper. The first to interpolate is Congressman Ramon Rodriguez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'd like to direct my first questions po, at least. First and foremost, we'd like to express our gratitude for our resource persons who have attended here. I know for the most part of our hearing, we've been discussing about the attendance of the other resource persons, and I hope on the next hearing we can do the same. Nandito po sila. But in the meantime, I think we would like, siguro I will start, Mr. Chair, to direct my questions to Miss Julieta Villa del Rey. Good morning po. Mr. Chair, if I may proceed.
Yes, please proceed.
Mr. Chair, before other matters po, no, on what we have in agenda, just some preliminary matters on, I believe you have submitted, Mr. Chair, some statements together with Attorney Sanchez to this committee. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Good morning, Your
Attorney
Honor.
Julieta,
Yes,
you're
Your Honor.
recognized.
I submitted
Yes.
a statement po.
Thank you. I'd like to focus on some procedural matters po
Ma'am,
muna on that statement.
lakasan po ninyo at ilapit po ninyo yung mic para marinig po kayo.
Yes.
Thank you po.
Good morning, Your Honors. It may be allowed to read my statement.
Mr. Chair, in the interest of time, I think we've had this in advance and we were able to read it. And I think we're aware if we may proceed with the questioning, unless the committee members would like to hear the statement. Parang hindi naman po.
Yung statement po bang babasahin ninyo, yun din po yung sinubmit ninyo sa amin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, nabasa na po namin lahat yon. So, we will proceed to the interpellation. Yes, please
Thank you.
continue.
So just,
Congressman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Villa del Rey po, no? Just working on the statement po, no? May I just like to ask, how do you know po si Attorney Abella?
Attorney,
Abella po.
he is our counsel, Your Honor.
He's your counsel?
Abelia.
Attorney Abella?
I don't know Attorney Abelia, sir.
You don't know an Attorney Abella, Attorney Rochelle Abella.
No, sir.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, may we ask you, Attorney Sanchez, do you know Mr. Attorney Abella?
Your Honor, yes, Mr. Chair. Attorney Abella is one of the staff in the Office of the Vice President.
Oh, one of the staff in the Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Back to Ms. Villa del Rey. Is it more familiar now to you po?
Hindi po ako masyadong familiar sa lahat ng employees of the Office of the Vice President.
Ms. Sanchez, I hope you don't mind, Mr. Chair. I know it's unorthodox, but I'd like to, because of the point I'm driving at, I'd like to toss in between the two resource persons. One, I'll just go quickly between them.
Please continue.
Attorney Sanchez, through the chair, most respectfully. Si Attorney Abella, you've known Attorney Abella for quite some time.
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. She joined the OVP, I think, sometime this year, if I am correct, Your Honor.
Can you describe how she looks po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Abella is fairly tall and slim.
Okay.
Uh,
Are there a lot of attorneys in the office of the OVP?
Currently, Your Honor, there are only around 4 attorneys under the Legal Affairs Division. But there are other lawyers in the Office of the Vice President performing other functions, Your Honor.
Would you consider Attorney Abella a fairly prominent lawyer in the OVP? Is she all over the place po ba? Or?
No, Your Honor. Attorney Abella does not report daily at the Office of the Vice President. Her tasks, from what I know, because I am not the head of the Legal Affairs Division, are mainly on execution of non-disclosure agreements and other documents and contracts for the Office of the Vice President, Your Honor.
Okay, so si Attorney Abella is mostly tasked with preparation of NDAs and you mentioned, sorry, can you repeat it for us, please?
Contracts
Contracts.
and other documents, Your Honor.
Is she also tasked with preparing statements for
I'm not
the
aware,
OVP?
Your Honor.
Not aware. But she, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Attorney Abella is a person who, although is not on site, would sometimes be on site.
Most of the days, I think, in the week, she is on site, Your Honor.
And her office is her outside, her external office. Would you know kung saan po ito?
No, Your Honor.
No. So just the internal office. And
Yes,
all
Your
of
Honor.
your interactions with Attorney Abella have been inside the office of the OVP.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've never interacted with Attorney Abella outside the OVP.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like to return my question po to Ms. Villa Del Rey. After the description po, no?
Attorney Roch, I will just like to interject
Of
in line
course.
with your line of questioning. Saan po ba yung official office po ni OVP?
Mr. Chair, the official office of the OVP is at the 11th floor, Robinson Cybergate Plaza, Mandaluyong City. Your Honor.
Mandaluyong.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Villa Del Rey, so after the descriptions, given the job description and actual physical description and office description of Ms. Abella, hindi pa rin po familiar po sa inyo?
I remember now, Your Honor. Si Attorney Abella po is once pumunta sa office.
Once
Accounting.
pumunta sa office. In any instance, did you go to her office?
No, sir. She went to my office.
To your office. What was the concern po kung why she went to your office?
Ang natatandaan ko lang po naging interaction niya sa akin is kinumusta niya ako.
Nothing official? Has she not done anything, preparation of any documents of any kind for you, Ms. Villa Del Rey?
None, sir.
Congressman Roch, for a while. Saan po yung office ninyo?
Same office po, Cybergate Plaza, Mandaluyong.
So doon din po. So doon din po yung office ni Attorney Abella. Tama din po. As staff of the OVP. Tama po ba? Attorney Sanchez, tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Please continue, Congressman Rog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Villa Del Rey, you've confirmed the once po you've interacted with Attorney Abella. Si Attorney Sanchez po, through the Honorable Chairman, have you had any recent interactions with Attorney Abella?
Your Honor, from time to time, Your Honor, regarding work.
More
Your Honor.
specifically, do you recall having an interaction with Attorney Abella last November 9?
Your Honor, through phone conversation, Your Honor, she asked me to send a copy of my ID, Your Honor.
Copy of your ID. Would you know the
Yes.
purpose of the copy of the ID?
I think, Your Honor, it is for her to notarize a statement that I executed, Your Honor.
And you did not have an interaction with her aside from the phone call?
Phone call only, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Ms. Villa Del Rey, do you recall a similar interaction with Attorney Abella noong November 9 po?
November 9, Your Honor, yes. when she asked to also send a copy of my ID.
Okay. And you are aware of the purpose also was to notarize po? Is it the same purpose as Attorney Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor, to notarize po itong statement.
Can you clarify po for us, this statement, this is of your own volition, tama po ba?
Tama po,
And
Your
you
Honor.
prepared this yourself?
Tama po.
And you sent this to Attorney Abella?
Your Honor.
Pinadala mo po ito kay Attorney Abella?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you did not appear personally to have it notarized?
Pinadala ko po ito sa Office of the Legal Affairs.
Pinadala sa Office of Legal Affairs. And they did not ask for your physical presence for the signing of the document?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Another clarification. Where were you when you received a phone call from Attorney Abella? You were in your office
I was in my office, Your Honor.
in
In Mandaluyong.
in
City, Your
Mandaluyong.
Honor.
How about you, Ma'am Villa Del Rey? Where were you?
Also in Mandaluyong, Your Honor.
Okay. In both dates, in both instances, November 9, you were both in Mandaluyong. Tama po ba? And that was the time when you received phone call from Attorney Abella. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, may I just correct? It was through the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division, Your Honor.
Ano po?
It was through the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division. She was on the phone with Attorney Abella, and she relayed the message. But I was with her at that time, Your Honor.
You were with
The Chief of the Legal Affairs Division.
Chief
Your
of the
Honor.
Legal Affairs
In Mandaluyong.
in Mandaluyong.
Yes,
How about you,
Your
ma'am?
Same.
Same.
Same po.
In Mandaluyong din.
In Mandaluyong
Okay,
also,
thank
sir.
you po. Please continue, Congressman Rog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So proceeding from that, Attorney Sanchez, would you say you had the same instance, the same procedure for the notarization of your document? So you prepared the statement, you signed it, tapos pinadala na lang po.
Your Honor, I signed it at the time that in front of the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division, Your Honor. I handed it over, Your Honor.
Okay, you signed it in front of the Chief of the Legal Affairs
Yes, Your
Division.
Honor.
Was Attorney Abella present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd just like to have that procedural fact noted by the committee. Actually, I might be mistaken, but from my understanding, based on notarial rules, the affiant should actually sign the document in front of the notary. So it's just concerning po na they have that procedure in which they prepared the statement, they signed it, then pinadala na lang po. In fact, they admitted to the fact that the ID was just asked over the phone for the appointment of the notary. But to clarify po for the committee, this is not, unfortunately, this has become a practice sometimes for notarial services, and sometimes it's overlooked. However, what's important to stress and to bear in relation to the proceedings here is that Attorney Abella is not only notarizing a regular statement. This is a statement before this House. And aside from that, Attorney Abella's signature, Attorney Abella's notarization actually appears in other significant documents. I'm not sure if Attorney Sanchez would be aware, being Chief of Admin po ba and Finance. And I'm not sure if Ms. Villa Del Rey is aware also, being Chief of Accountant. But Attorney Abella's notarial stamp, notarial imprimatur, appears not only in their statements, which they have prepared, but has actually appeared in, I believe, the liquidation reports po ng OVP confidential funds. So it brings a question, kung magkakaroon po, the whole purpose of the notarial procedure is to verify as officers of the court to allow persons to execute statements under oath in a way. So the purpose of this is to preserve the integrity of the statements made. Now, if there's an issue regarding the procedural, if there are procedural lapses in the notarial services, then it puts into light the veracity, authenticity, and acceptability, admissibility of these documents. So what's stressing for me is that this isn't just only for the statements, which don't get me wrong, Mr. Chair, this is important for us today because the statements that they'll be presenting is their official testimony to our questions here today, of course. But more importantly, the fact that the same Attorney Abella is the lawyer who notarized the OVP confidential fund certification, the DepEd. Sorry, Mr. Chair, Attorney Abella is in the office of the OVP. Tama po ba, Attorney Sanchez? May we clarify, since you're more familiar with Attorney Abella.
Attorney Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she have a stint in the Department of Education?
I am not aware, Your Honor.
It's not your personal knowledge, but that's something for us to consider kasi nga po, her signature appears as the notary for the OVP confidential funds and the DepEd confidential fund certification, aside from the statements presented today. So I'm not sure, perhaps at the proper time, with the proper motion, should this committee deem wise, we might want to invite si Attorney Abella. Although this is not usual practice, I understand that in the courts, usually they would frown upon the act of having to present a notary as a witness. But given the fact that, for example, we can't even get the 9 OVP officials present, perhaps we can invite Attorney Abella, not only for her notarial stamp on the statements of Ms. Villa Del Rey and Attorney Sanchez, but also on the OVP confidential funds and DepEd confidential funds. This is just
Comsec, please take note of the manifestation of Congressman
just
Gutierrez.
a procedural concern. But with that out of the way, Mr. Chair, I'd like now to proceed with some preliminary questions for Ms. Villa Del Rey. So,
Please
Mr.
continue.
Chair, Ms. Villa Del Rey, kayo po yung Chief Accountant ng Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long na po kayo sa OVP?
Your Honor, I've been in the OVP since 1990. During the last year of VP Laurel.
VP Laurel pa po. So you are a career public servant.
Yes, Your Honor.
So from 1990, that would put you now at 34 years of service po. And in your 34 years of service, may you just quickly give us a rundown? Kailan po kayo naging chief accountant?
I was employed in the OVP in 1990. I became an OIC, I cannot recall, but I appointed chief accountant in 1998.
That's a quick rise po, no? From 1990 to 1998, kayo po yung naging chief accountant. So you have been the chief accountant for the OVP for how many administrations now po?
For at least seven po, 7 vice presidents.
And as the chief accountant, you are in charge of the accounting division. Is that correct?
Tama po, Your Honor.
And part of your duties would include reviewing and processing the disbursements and liquidations of the OVP.
Tama po.
Before anything, I'd like to commend you for your long tenure of service. Maraming salamat po. Given that you're 6 administrations in, I'm pretty sure you are adept and an expert in your field. Given that you are, well experienced in your field, I'm sure you're familiar with yung tinatawag na government accounting manual. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you run down for the committee ano po yung requirements ng government accounting manual in relation to cash advances?
For the cash advances under the regular, Your Honor, there should be fund or allotment to cover the issuance of cash advance. There should be cash allocation. For the travel honor, Your Honor, hindi po required na banded siya, pero for activities, should be banded with the Bureau of the Treasury. There should be special order designating special disbursing officer, Your Honor.
So for yung cash advances po natin, that in the yung GAM na sinasabi, this is the standards for accounting of the government, and this would apply generally to other agencies. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your
Would the GAM on the provisions on cash advances, would that also apply to confidential funds?
No, Your Honor.
And why is that po? What is the standard that you use for the for confidential funds?
For the confidential fund, Your Honor, it is covered by the Joint Circular 2015-01.
So the same joint circular that if you've been following our committee hearings was cited by the ICFAO, yun yung general basis po nila for confidential funds.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Are there provisions in the government accounting manual that would still suppletorily, in a way, apply to cash advances?
Wala po akong natatandaan, Your Honor.
Wala po.
Only the Joint Circular.
So there is no requirement that for cash advance for specific purpose or time-bound undertaking, that this should be recorded into the books of accounts as advances to special disbursing officers. Wala po kayong ino-note na ganun po?
Can you repeat, Your Honor?
When you were talking of cash advances for specific purpose or a time-bound undertaking, I'm not sure, I'm not an accountant, but I think this is a very specific definition under the GAM. Tama po ba?
Apo.
Yeah, okay. So with that, do you record it in the books of accounts as advances to special disbursing officers?
Tama po, Your Honor.
So there are some provisions in the JM that would apply. It's not purely in joint circular. Tama po ba? This is a procedure that's outlined in the GAM.
Tama po.
So suppletory naman pala po yung JM, no? Nagagamit rin po siya even for confidential funds.
Possible po, Your Honor. Pero nakapokus po ako sa joint circular when it comes to confidential fund.
Okay. But do you recall recording yung advances to special disbursing officers? Yes, you do. And the relevant provisions actually for the GAM for confidential funds is Chapter 6, apparently. So the process of the cash advance, pagkatanggap po ng check, ini-encash po ito ng SDO. Tama po ba?
As I recall, Your Honor.
As you recall. In this instance, what is your participation po in the handing over of the check? Do you foresee the encashment? Do you oversee the depositing? Ano po yung inyong interaction with the SDO in relation to this?
Your Honor, ang naging task po ng accounting sa issuance ng cash advance is only for processing. For
Meaning,
processing of disbursement voucher, not for issuance of check.
not for the issuance of the check, but the processing of the disbursement voucher. So ano po yung procedure for the processing of the disbursement voucher?
In the processing of a disbursement voucher for confidential fund, it should be supported by all the required supporting documents as stated or as required in the Joint Circular 2015-01.
When you say po, hindi po kayo involved sa issuing of the check, are you somehow involved in the depositing of the check?
For encashment and depositing of the check, it is the SDO,
The
Your
SDO.
Honor.
So no participation required on your part doon sa SDO. They don't need any clearance from you. They don't need you to sign off on anything. It's purely the responsibility of the SDO in line with the provisions of the joint circular. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, are you aware of the procedure? Just on personal knowledge, kapag tinatanggap na po ng SDO, of course, we'd like to ask the SDO himself or herself these questions, but given na wala po sila, we'd like to ask you as Chief Accountant kasi po, I hope you understand, minsan nalilito rin po kami as not actually practitioners in this field. Marami pong accountants and auditors pala po no, within one office. But it's understandable na special po in confidential funds. So in relation to confidential funds po, Ms. Villa Del Rey, you mentioned that you have no participation in the encashment and no participation in depositing of any sorts. But are you aware of the procedure of the SDO? Ano pong ginagawa po niya pag nakatanggap ng cheque for the confidential funds?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, hindi ko po alam. Bali, ang task ko lang po talaga is to process the issuance of cash advance for
Okay.
the confidential fund.
Sige po. Ms. Villa Del Rey, ayon po sa GAM, required pong mag-institute ng internal mechanisms or internal controls ng OVP to safeguard po yung mga cash advances. And I would assume this would also apply to confidential funds. Are you aware of any safeguards that are being implemented for the OVP's confidential funds?
For the regular funds, Your Honor, yes, we have po controls. Like it should be liquidated within 15 days from issuance or upon completion of the activity.
For the regular fund. But for
Regular
confidential
fund.
funds, are you aware of any controls that you might have implemented as Chief Accountant?
Yes, Your Honor, according to Joint Circular, there should be reportorial requirements like for accounting, the issuance of cash advance is, or upon disbursement of the cash advance, it should be submitted to the audit team, resident auditor, within 7 days from issuance, to Your Honor, including all supporting documents.
Ms. Villa Del Rey, when you mentioned resident auditor, you're talking about the resident auditor of the COA? Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. So, do you have any participation in the vetting or authentication or going through the supporting documents ng confidential funds?
Supporting documents, Your Honor, for the issuance of cash advance.
Issuance of cash advance only. Pero for the liquidation, wala na po kayong ginalaman.
Wala na po, Your Honor.
So you would not be involved with the documentary evidence of payment for yung mga acknowledgement receipts, etc., etc.
No, Your Honor, based on joint circular, it should be the responsibility of the special disbursing officer.
And never at any point even procedurally, dumaan po itong mga SDs or DEPs sa kamay po ninyo. This is directly between the SDO and the resident auditor. Tama po ba?
The DBs of the issuance of cash advance, yun po ang dumaan sa accounting sa akin. Other DBs na nagkaroon ang disbursement ng confidential fund, hindi po dumaan sa accounting, Your Honor.
By DVs, you mean yung disbursement vouchers po? Tama.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you, as chief accountant, are you required to review a journal entry voucher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this apply for confidential funds?
Yes, Your Honor, upon recording of the issuance of cash advance.
So upon the issuance of cash advance, this is still related to the disbursement voucher lang po.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you review the journal entry voucher, you have to certify it. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So ano po yung nalalaman ng certification na ito?
For the certification of the issuance of cash advance, in the voucher, Your Honor, it is stated that there should be cash available and supporting documents complete and proper.
So when you issue po yung disbursement voucher, is it a requirement, for example? Because I understand yung ating confidential funds is, except for 2022 po, no, which was issued by virtue of yung contingent fund na nilipat, under the GAA po, yung confidential funds natin for 2023. Tama po. Is it a requirement in the subsequent disbursement vouchers that you would have to certify na inubos po yung previous quarter?
Yes, Your Honor, before the issuance of another cash advance.
And how do you verify po na naubos yung previous disbursement voucher, yung previous cash advance?
Sir, for the liquidation of previous cash advance, it is stated in the joint circular, and also ito lang po, din po yung naging basis ko, the received transmittal copy of the supporting documents duly stamped by ICPAO.
Okay, so ang procedure po natin is the SDO will submit the liquidation report to the resident auditor, the ICFA will stamp and then provide it po to you, Mr. Villidere. Is it provided to you by the SDO or by the COA po?
By the SDO, sir.
Si SDO. And when you receive this stamped copy po ng liquidation report, ministerial na lang po yung pag-issue po ninyo ng disbursement voucher for the next quarter. Tama po ba?
Not the liquidation report, Your
Oh,
Honor,
sorry.
only the transmittal. Listing po lahat ng documentary requirements, all reports and certifications submitted to ICPAO.
So yung listing na po ito, how many pages ang document na ito?
I think, kung tama pa yung pagkaka-recall ko, it's 3 pages po.
So manipis lang po. So talagang walang liquidation report, walang AR, walang SD. It's just the letter of transmittal lang po. Parang ganun.
Tama po.
Okay. So in that case po, in relation to the GAM and the joint circular, what is it that you would record in the books as chief accountant? It's really just disbursement to the SDO.
Your Honor, ang recording ko po sa book is the issuance of the cash advance when issued to the SDO and the liquidation of the cash advance upon receipt of the transmittal duly received by ICPAO.
Okay. Ms. Villidere, as chief accountant, you would confirm that there is a general ledger.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the general ledger, the purpose is to keep a record of all of these. Would that include the supporting documents?
No, Your Honor.
So before you make an entry in the general ledger, do you have to go through the supporting documents?
Only for cash advance, Your Honor.
So for cash advance. In this case po, sa confidential funds, this is one such cash advance po, no? So
Yes.
before you enter it in the general ledger, what documents would you be requiring before you make that entry in the general ledger?
Before entering into to the general ledger, sir, we will the basis of our recording is the report of the checks issued from our cash division and the copy of the disbursement voucher together with the supporting documents.
Okay, checks issued, disbursement voucher, and supporting documents. Can you give us an example na po yung SDs that are relevant to this entry?
SD
Anong supporting documents po
Supporting
na binabanggit
documents.
po ninyo?
Yes, sir. Well, for the issuance of cash advance, supporting documents required are a special order of the disbursing officer, designated by the HOA, approve banding from the BTR, copy of the SARO and NCA, specimen signature of all signatories in DBs and ORS. What else? That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So really, it's related to disbursement lang talaga. Ms. Villa Del Rey, can you, I'm sorry, we're not too familiar, pero can you distinguish yung general and subsidiary ledger?
General ledger, sir, is the basis of the trial balance. Subsidiary ledger pertaining to the individual accounts.
And do you maintain a subsidiary ledger for the confidential funds?
For the SDO, Your Honor.
For the office of the SDO. And ano po yung lalabas po dito sa subsidiary ledger? It's just per check, per
Yes,
entry.
sir. The recording of the cash advance and upon liquidation, also the crediting of the cash advance.
Does the SDO have to report to you for entry into the subsidiary ledger yung different tranches of which that they, whether they encash or deposit the quarterly confidential funds, or isang bagsakan lang po ito sa inyong ledger?
Isang report lang po. Isang report lang from report of checks issued.
Isang report lang po talaga of checks issued. So generally, in that subsidiary ledger for the SDO, ano pa po ang mga entries ninyo aside from dun sa confidential funds? Are there any other transactions or accounts that you have to record that concerns the SDO?
Your Honor, only the date of the check number, the details po, like if it is for the first quarter, second quarter, and the amount only.
So it's a quarterly thing po talaga. I know you answered this earlier, but just to clarify, so ang magre-reflect po sa subsidiary record is yung one-time cash. Hindi po siya daily releases or disbursements.
No,
Who
Your
would have the
Honor.
record of any daily release or disbursement?
Per JC, Your Honor, it is the SDO.
The SDO's responsibility. And I know it's no longer part of your responsibility, but of your personal knowledge, nagpapatulong po ba yung ating SDO sa inyo, ang SDO ng OVP, when it comes to recording things in as per requirement of the joint circular?
No, Your Honor.
So just to clarify, and the process is yung interaction po ninyo with the SDO is purely upon receipt of the request po ba yun, or yung transmittal, you will then certify into the ledger. Sorry, can you repeat again to us? As a summary na lang po, no? Kasi I know chinap-chap na po natin, pero give us a summary of your interactions with yung SDO in particular.
Actually po, wala po akong interaction sa SDO. Only the reports. When the disbursement voucher for cash advance is forwarded to accounting, wala po akong interaction sa SDO. When we recorded it in the books of accounts, wala din po. And when we liquidate it, wala din po, because only through documents po kami nagbe-base.
Okay, documents na po. Okay, although you don't interact with the SDO particularly, personal knowledge po, in what instances do you interact with their office? Through documents. So this is purely for confidential funds only. Walang ibang entry, walang ibang transaction that would require documentation or certification on your part po.
For the liquidation, Your Honor, I signed the liquidation report.
Oh, you signed the liquidation report. And what is the purpose of your signature po sa liquidation report?
For the liquidation report, Your Honor, I certify that all supporting documents in the issuance of cash advance are proper and complete. Also in the transmittal forwarded, sir.
I understand po earlier you mentioned na as far as you're concerned with the general and subsidiary ledgers of the OVP, wala po kayong hindi po dumadaan po sa inyo yung acknowledgement receipts, documentary evidence of payment, and other supporting documents. Sabi niyo po yun earlier, tama po ba?
Tama po.
But now you're saying po na in the liquidation report, you certify that you have reviewed all of these supporting documents.
The supporting documents, sir, that I mentioned is all supporting documents attached to the issuance of cash advance.
But you mentioned you signed yung liquidation report itself.
only the liquidation report as annexed in the joint circular, Your Honor.
So yung liquidation report as annexed in the joint circular, and
It-
your
Yes.
what you are certifying there is that you've gone through all of the supporting documents. Tama po ba? So would this not include yung ating acknowledgement receipts and documentary evidence of payment?
Sir, in the JC, hindi po included sa responsibilities ng accountant ang review of the documents evidencing payments.
So, sorry, I hope you can forgive the confusion, no? Kasi earlier you mentioned when you go through the supporting documents and other, yung mga supporting documents lang, you were talking about for signing of the disbursement voucher to release the check po, no?
The
But-
cash advance.
The cash advance. But in this case of the liquidation report, this is already post-disbursement, tama po ba? The liquidation report is already talking about the quarter that has lapsed. So you are signing on supporting documents there. What supporting documents po are you certifying in that case?
Sir, the supporting documents of the liquidation, not necessarily po yung documents evidencing payments. It is under the responsibility only of the special disbursing officer, and the audit of this is through ICPAO.
No, I understand po what you're saying is that it's not necessarily your responsibility, but you do have a certification there that you have gone through all the supporting documents. So how do we distinguish which supporting documents are verified or certified or prepared by the SDO and which supporting documents are verified or prepared by the chief accountant? Could you please clarify to us po, which particular supporting documents are you certifying?
Yes, the supporting documents I certified po as complete and proper is the supporting documents also to be submitted sa ICPAO, which is also the attached documents of the cash advance.
But the acknowledgement receipts and DEPs are also submitted to the ICFAO, is that correct?
Yes, sir, but it is through a sealed envelope signed by the SDO.
Okay, so the documents that are not sealed in which you certify would be specifically, could you enumerate for us po? Sorry?
Yes, sir. The special order,
Special order.
the same attachment of the cash advance, special order, the approved banding, specimen signatures of all the signatories, the copy of the SBR, the physical and financial plan of the confidential plan. S-
Okay.
That's I can remember, Your Honor.
Thank you. Of course, marami po yan. So, Ms. Villadere, you mentioned that this is the same SDs that are in the disbursement voucher.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, kung ano po yung sinertify and sinubmit nyo for the disbursement voucher prior to the cash advance, yun rin po that is what you're referring to po na ina-attach ulit sa liquidation report submitting to the ICFAO. That is what you are certifying to.
Yes, Your
Although the
Honor.
terms in the certification are all documents, you are testifying now that it's only in relation to these particular documents that you have mentioned. Tama po.
Tama po.
Thank you po for the clarification, Ms. Villa Del Rey. Mr. Chair, if I would still have some time, I'd like to ask just a few preliminary questions to Attorney Sanchez.
Yes, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attorney Sanchez, kayo po ay dinesignate bilang officer in charge, Chief of Staff of the OVP na inaprobahan ni VP. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, may I know the period covered, Mr. Chair?
I'm just referring to the office order number 2024-56. But if you'd like to testify about any period, you are free to answer. Hindi naman po to yes or no.
Mr. Chair, there are different periods, if I recall, that I was assigned as the OIC of the Office of the Chief of Staff here.
In which
Mr.
case
Chair.
po, can you please relate to this committee what time periods po kayo ay naging
Ah.
OIC? And if you can confirm that OIC pa rin po kayo ngayon.
Mr. Chair, I cannot recall the specific periods, Mr. Chair, but I can trace the office orders or special orders designating me as the OIC, Mr. Chair.
Could you give us at least a ballpark, not figure, a ballpark duration? Which months po kayo naging chief of OIC? And I'm sure if natapos po yung inyong pagiging OIC, that means may na-appoint na actual chief of staff. And then naging OIC naman po kayo. Am I understanding your story correctly?
No, Mr. Chair. I would just like to clarify that I am only appointed as the OIC for the Office of the Chief of Staff whenever the Chief of Staff and the Assistant Chief of Staff are not available in the office, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's a temporary thing.
Yes,
Hindi
Your
naman po
Honor.
siya yung dahil wala pa yung chief of staff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ang sabi po sa Office Order 2024-56 is mayroong travel ang Chief of Staff na si Attorney Zulaika Lopez at Assistant Chief of Staff na si Lemuel Ortonio on October 18, 2024. So let's zero in on this one time. Do you recall this this order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you relate to us ano po yung official travel ni Attorney Lopez and the Assistant Chief of Staff Ortonio?
Your Honor, from what I recall, they had to travel to Davao, Your Honor.
To Davao. And would you
Yes.
recall the duration of this?
I do not recall, Your Honor. I can trace the travel order, Your Honor, and provide this committee with it, Your Honor.
One last preliminary question. Bilang OIC, would you say you're relatively capable or familiar with the office of at least of the Chief of Staff?
Your Honor, as OIC, I only perform functions which are specifically designated to me, Your Honor. So I still am able to get direct instructions from the Chief of Staff even during the period that she is not in the office, Your Honor.
Even when she is abroad?
Yes, Your Honor.
One more question. Bilang, sorry, can you clarify? Masyadong maliit yung name tag. You are director for what department?
For Administrative and Financial Services Office, Your Honor.
Okay. Financial services. Do you have any interactions or any role in the disbursement of yung confidential funds?
Your Honor, my participation in the disbursement of confidential funds is just limited as one of the signatories of the checks for the cash advance, Your Honor.
So checks for the cash advance which are being verified by Ms. Billy Del Rey for disbursement lang.
Yes,
So
Your
you
Honor.
have no participation in yung tranches. For example, yung for 2022 of December, 125 million. Kay Ms. Billy Del Rey, they will only record it as one whole 125 million. But as Director for Finance, would you have any knowledge as to the breakdown of that 125 million and live kung kailan to dinidisburse?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I have no personal knowledge on that matter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Attorney Sanchez. Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you,
I'll
Your
now
Honor.
yield the floor to other interpellators. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Gutierrez. The next interpellator is Congresswoman Pami Zamora. You are now recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'd like to direct my questions kay Ma'am, tama ba Julieta? Paano po i-pronounce?
Julieta Villa del
Julieta, hi
Rey.
Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey. Ma'am, binanggit mo na po kay Congressman Gutierrez na kayo po ang chief accountant under the OVP. Bilang chief accountant po, to whom are you directly under po? Kumbaga, sino po ang inyong immediate and direct supervisor?
Under the Director of APSO po, Your Honor, Administrative and Financial Services OPs.
I'm sorry, ma'am, mahina po ang pandinig ko. Pakiulit po.
Under the Director of Administrative and Financial Services OPs.
Okay. And bilang sa ilalim ka po nitong binanggit nyo, under ka ng Director for Administrative and Financial Services Office. Wait lang, ma'am. Can you confirm if this is the correct organizational chart of the OVP? Kung saan ka nabibilang?
Tama po, under the Director of APSO.
And tama po ba, ma'am, yung Director for Administrative and Financial Services ay yung katabi niyo po ngayon, si Ma'am Rosalyn L. Sanchez?
Tama po.
Okay. And ang on top of all of this ay ang Chief of Staff na si Miss Zulaika T. Lopez. Tama po?
Tama.
All right. Ma'am, bilang Chief Accountant, dumadaan po ba sa opisina ninyo yung mga pondo na pumapasok sa OVP?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. For the last quarter of 2022, ma'am, maaalala niyo po ba yung cheque na pumasok sa OVP? Last quarter of 2022.
Cheque.
Apo.
Wala po
Ako na pong
akong-
magpapaalala, ma'am. Ito po.
Ah.
125 million po. Tama po ba? Pakibasa po. Tama po ba ang pagkakabasa ko na 125 million po siya?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay.
Pero, Your Honor, as I said earlier, hindi po dumadaan sa amin ang check payment. Only the processing of disbursement voucher.
Opo. Opo, ma'am. Darating tayo dyan. So, ang tanong ko, ma'am, ang tanong ko, ma'am, kasi inunahan ako ni ma'am. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, sabi mo, processing lang of disbursement vouchers. Ang tanong ko ngayon, in any way, are you notified ba kapag may cheque na? Kasi sinabi mo kanina kay Kong Rog, assured dapat na may fund na or allocated budget for it. So paano mo nasasabi yon? So in a way, nanonotify ka na may cheque na.
Only sa report, Your Honor, report of checks issued.
Sa report mo lang natatanggap. Yun po ba?
Tama po.
So hindi mo po masasabi sa akin, ma'am, kung ang checking ito ay kung anong pinagdaanan po ng cheque na ito, kung ito po ba ay in-encash, dineposit.
No, Your Honor.
Is there anybody here who can answer? Kung ano pong pinagdaanan ng cheque na ito? All right. Can we go to the next slide? Meron po akong ipapakita ulit. Ma'am, magkano po yung nakasulat sa cheque na ito for the first quarter of 2023?
125 million, Your Honor.
125 million. And again, bilang chief accountant, sinasabi mo po kanina kay Congressman Gutierrez na hindi po dumadaan sa inyo to. At again, processing lang ng disbursement vouchers ang trabaho niyo po. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
All right. At wala po sa ating kahit sino ditong makakasagot kung papaano po lumabas ang cheque na ito. Okay. Can we go to the next check, please? Oo. Ito naman, ma'am. For the next check, again, of 125 million, kay Ma'am Villa del Rey, again, so hindi po ito again dumaan sa inyo.
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am Rosalyn Sanchez, ikaw po nakikita ko po, nagulat po ako, ikaw po ang nakapirma dito. Naaalala niyo po bang pinirmahan niyo po ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pati pala yung first check, tinanong kita kanina, hindi mo naaalala. Okay, so anong nangyari sa cheque na ito, ma'am? Ma'am Rosalyn Sanchez.
Ma'am, may I just be, Your Honor, may I be clarified? When I mentioned to Congressman Gutierrez earlier that I am the signatory, my participation for confidential
So
funds
you
is a
signed the check and then
signatory
you
for
don't know what
checks.
happened next.
Yes,
Is
Your
that what
Honor.
you're saying? All right, I'll take that answer. Okay. Mabalik ako kay Ma'am Villa del Rey. Ma'am Villa del Rey, as the Chief Accountant ng OVP mula early on, nakailang Vice President ka na po, sinabi niyo po sa amin. Particular po kayo siguro talaga. In fact, nabanggit niyo kanina dun sa joint circular ng 2015. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
And you are very much aware of your responsibilities as agency accountant under the joint circular, particularly under section 6.3.3.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Sa joint circular, ma'am, merong guidelines on the grant and liquidation of cash advance for confidential funds. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Kinukumpirma mo kanina, ma'am, na ayon sa kaalaman mo na kahit na hindi sa'yo dumaan ang cheque, di ba? Paulit-ulit mo pong sinabi, pero kinukumpirma mo pa rin na nakatanggap ng 125 million na confidential funds 4 times ang OVP. Tama po?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am Villa del Rey, aware ka naman po na kahit hindi po ikaw ang SDO, na liable ka pa rin po bilang Chief Accountant ng OVP. Kung sakaling mapatunayan na nagkaroon ng misuse ng confidential funds ang OVP. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor, depending on the participation.
Under kasi ma'am dun sa joint circular, yung liability mo ay katumbas ng liability ng SDO. Tama po ba yun, ma'am?
Tama po, as mentioned, depending on my participation.
Opo, kaso kanina tinatanong ka po ni Congressman Gutierrez, nung nagpirma ka po sa liquidation report, hindi naman po nakasulat doon na ito po ang pirma niyo, certified, supporting documents complete and proper. Yun po ang pinirmahan ninyo, ma'am. Tanong lang naman po yun. Under po ng joint circular, again, isa ka talaga dun sa 3 signatory. Ikaw po, yung SDO na si Ma'am Gina Acosta at ang Vice President. And dahil po sinacertify mo ang dokumento na isinumite at ay kumpleto, sapat bilang Chief Accountant, ikaw ay naging isang accountable officer. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Dahil po ma'am sa pagpirma mo sa receipt of payment, ikaw ay naging accountable sa custody at pag-safekeep ng mga funds na ito. Tama po ba, ma'am?
No, Your Honor. Hindi po ako nag-safekeep ng fund. Only the processing of the issuance of cash advance and recording of its liquidation.
All right. Familiar ka po ba, Ma'am Villa del Rey, sa Presidential Decree number 1445 or the Government Auditing Code?
Yes, Your Honor. PD 14.
Sa mga hindi po familiar dito, we will flash it. Under Section 103, it says general liability for unlawful expenditures. Expenditures of government funds or uses of government property in violation of law or regulations shall be a personal liability of the official or employee found to be directly responsible therefore. In Section 105, it talks about the measure of liability of accountable officers. Binanggit niyo po kanina, kayo po ay isang accountable officer. It states, every officer accountable for government property shall be liable for its money value in case of improper or unauthorized use or misapplication thereof by himself or any person for whose acts he may be responsible. We shall likewise be liable for all losses, damages, or deterioration occasioned by negligence in the keeping or use of the property, whether or not it be at the time in his actual custody. Every officer accountable for government funds shall be liable for all losses resulting from the unlawful deposit, use, or application thereof, and for all losses attributable to negligence in the keeping of the funds. Ibig sabihin ng mga provisions na ito ng PD 1445, personal liability ng accountable officers ang unlawful use or application of government funds or any loss attributable to the accountable officer's negligence in keeping the funds. Sumasang-ayon ka po ba dito, Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey?
Your Honor, may I reiterate lang po na hindi po ako nag-handle ng cash and my participation in the confidential fund is only in the issuance of it, the processing of the disbursement voucher, checking of all the supporting documents attached to the issuance of cash advance.
Ma'am, if hindi po kayo, if wala po kayong interaction sa SDO, hindi nyo po ba nakikita ang SDO na nagre-receive ng check ng subject of the disbursement voucher?
No, Your Honor.
Sino po ang nagre-release ng check sa SDO?
Cash division, Your Honor.
Cash division. Sino naman po, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, since pinirmahan niyo po lahat po ng liquidation reports na meron po ako dito, sino po ang nag-aabot sa inyo ng liquidation report for your signature?
It was routed po to our office.
It was routed. How, what is this process?
It
So
was
it's like, you
yes,
know,
it was routed po from office of the VP.
from office of the VP.
To
Sino
account-
pong nagdadala nun, ma'am? Was it a messenger?
Liaison officer, Your Honor.
Who is this liaison officer?
I don't have idea, Your Honor, since hindi it was only handed to me by my staff in a folder or in
You are the AO or the accountable officer.
Yes, Your Honor, I am accountable officer only in the issuance of cash advance.
Hindi po ba ganun din po yun? Okay. Sa ngayon, ma'am, ako tatanungin ko pa rin po to. Bilang accountable officer po nung mga pinakita ko pong cheque nung 2022 at 2023, would you agree that any unlawful use of these funds would be your personal liability?
Based on the joint circular, Your Honor, but
So yes.
yes, depende po sa participation ko as chief accountant.
Oo, nag-yes ka na. Ma'am, dahil po pinirmahan mo po bilang chief accountant ng OVP ang mga disbursement voucher at liquidation reports, may presumption naman po talaga tayo of regularity and that everything is above board. Di ba po?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Pero bakit kaya ma'am base sa mga testimony nung nakaraang hearing, nalaman ng publiko, nalaman din namin dito na bukod sa unreasonable at hindi makatarungan ang paggastos ng mga funds na ito ay hindi din properly substantiated or supported ng dokumento, katulad na lamang po ng mga disbursement vouchers na sinertify mo po.
Ang disbursement voucher, Your Honor, na sinertify ko is for the issuance of cash advance. It was all submitted for post-audit to the resident auditor of COA. And as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor, wala pong naging AOM ang issuance ng cash advance.
All right. Mr. Chair, we can confirm no bilang yung chief accountant na si Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey, kahit po she devoids herself of responsibility dun sa cheque, hanggang dun lang siya sa disbursement voucher, nandun talaga siya. We can confirm that she is part of the process ng naging paggastos at liquidation ng confidential funds ng OVP. And as we continue our deliberations, Mr. Chair, on the issue, I hope that Ms. Villa del Rey will continue to be very diligent in cooperating with the committee para po mas mabigyang linaw ang ating mga katanungan. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, and I yield to the next interpolator.
Thank you, Congresswoman Zamora. The chair would like to recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker, J.J. Suarez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Magandang tanghali po, Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey.
Magandang tanghali po.
Ma'am, gaano katagal na po kayo naglilingkod sa ating pamahalaan?
I started, Your Honor, 1990, about 34 years already.
34 years. Tama po ba rinig ko? 34 years.
Tama po.
So you've been committed to public service for a great part of your life. And you've been assigned to the office of the Vice President only, or have you transferred to other offices?
To Accounting Division, Your Honor, of the Office of the Vice President.
Doon lang.
Doon lang po.
So doon kayo nag-umpisa at hanggang ngayon nandun na rin
Tama po.
nandun pa rin po kayo.
Tama po.
So, ma'am, sa nabanggit nyo, simula nung panahon ni Laurel, nandun na po kayo?
Yes, Your Honor. Last 2 years po ni VP Laurel.
Okay. So sa maraming vice presidents na pinaglingkuran po ninyo, ngayon lang po nagkaroon ang Office of the Vice President ng malaking halaga para sa confidential funds. Tama po ba ito?
As I recall, Your Honor, tama po.
So never in the past has a Vice President received this large amount of confidential funds.
Not at this amount, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Now, Ms. Villa del Rey, kanina nababanggit po yung halagang 125 million na natanggap nung fourth quarter of 2022, first quarter of 2023, second quarter of 2023, third quarter of 2023. Tama. So, kung di po ako nagkakamali, that's 4 na cheque.
Tama po.
Yung 4 na cheque pong yun ay aabot ng 500 million pesos. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po.
Okay. Ma'am, matanong ko lang bago ako tumulak sa susunod kong mga tanong. Sa nakalipas na mga hearings namin, kayo po ay pinadadalhan po namin ng imbitasyon.
Tama po.
Bakit kayo lang po kayo nag-desisyon na dumalo?
Sir, as I mentioned po sa aking statement, the first invitation nakasama ako, I was only from September 23 to October 14. And then, for the second invitation po, nakasama rin ako because of the matagal kong absence is marami po akong backlog. So, I have to attend to many tasks, Your Honor.
Kasi lang alam niyo naman po yung kahalagahan ng mga pandinig na ito, bakit hindi niyo po binigyan ng sapat na importansya para po makadalo sa Committee ng Good Government?
Sir, that is the reason po na nag-attend kami ngayon.
But after receiving a subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I think, ma'am, sa 34 years niyo na pong paglilingkod, hindi na dapat maabot sa subpoena. Dapat on mere invitation pa lang, nakakadalo na po kayo. Dahil sa totoo lang, hindi naman siguro dapat tumagal ng ilang hearing kami dito kung dumadalo po yung mga resource persons namin. Given that career official pa po kayo, 34 years binanggit ninyo. Ngayon, ma'am, patungkol po dun sa confidential funds, before you issue another check, documents have to be submitted to your office with regards to how this was utilized and how it was liquidated, correct?
No, Your Honor. Ang basis lang po ng liquidation sa books of accounts is the received transmittal letter from ICPAO.
Hindi, kunyari, humingi sila ng 120, nag-release kayo ng cheque ng 125, di ba? For 125 ng fourth quarter of 2022. For you to issue another disbursement document, they have to submit the necessary requirements as to how the previous 125 was utilized, correct?
Hindi po. Ang basis po ng liquidation, once receive ang transmittal letter, duly stamp received by ICPAO, yun po yung time na iti-take up ko ang liquidation sa books of accounts. So liquidated po yung cash advance. Upon request of the next issuance of cash advance, I will issue po certificate of unliquidated cash advance for the STO.
Okay, kasi tulad po kasi nung nabanggit ni Congresswoman Zamora, nakasulat po kasi dito, supporting documents are complete and proper. At naka-affix po yung signature nyo dito.
Yes, Your Honor, that is pertaining to the supporting documents for the issuance of cash advance.
Yeah. So when it comes to the supporting documents, can you just enlighten me and educate me? What are these supporting documents that need to be complete and proper before you issue another cash advance?
For the issuance of cash advance, Your Honor, the disbursement voucher and the ORS should be supported with special order of the designated SDO, the approved banding from the BTR, the physical and financial plan of the fund, the specimen signature of all the disbursing officers of the ORS and DB, the SBR or the copy of the GAA, and the notice of cash allocation, Your Honor. If it is a succeeding cash advance, it should be supported with certification
At-
of no unliquidated cash advance of the SDO.
At lahat po ito natatanggap ninyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
At bago po kayo mag-issue ng disbursement, dapat tinitiyak nyo na kumpleto lahat.
Tama po.
At hinihimay nyo lahat ng mga dokumento, lahat ng mga papeles, lahat ng mga pinadadala sa inyo.
Tama po.
Sino po nagpapadala sa inyo ng mga dokumentong ito?
Nanggagaling po ang mga documents routed from Office of the BP.
Saan po galing?
Office of the BP po.
Galing sa Office of the Vice President. Sino po ang nagdadala sa inyo ng mga dokumentong ito?
It was routed po through administrative officer.
And who is this administrative officer?
Hindi ko po kilala since tinatanggap din po siya ng AO ng Accounting Division. And once received in the Accounting Division, ira-route po ito sa table ko.
So, hindi nyo po kilala yung nagpapadala ng mga dokumentong ito sa inyo?
It's only through AO po, administrative officer.
So, who is this administrative officer?
Sir, hindi po ako nakapag-interact sa administrative officer since ang document is in-hand, pino-forward lang sa akin ng accounting staff mismo.
Hindi, kaso lang considerable yung amount, ma'am eh. Ang laki. At dahil nga nabanggit din na, administratively and for whatever cases that may be filed or be seen na may liability, kasama po kayo sa mga liable. So I would assume that a certain level of consciousness on your part when it comes to the documents being submitted to you will be exercised, especially in the manner of who is submitting to you those documents.
Yes, Your Honor, it was routed through a sealed envelope or in a folder with marked confidential on it.
At sino po ang nagpapadala sa inyo nito?
Sa Office of the BP po.
Sino would the OIC COS be able to verify who this administrative officer is?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I cannot identify the specific administrative officer as we have several administrative officers.
No,
in
but
the
okay,
office,
so
Your
but
Honor.
you may have several. How many administrative officers do you have? 20? 30?
I will,
50?
yes, I will check, Your Honor, but
No, I mean, ma'am.
it's more than 10 administrative officers
Okay,
or
so you have
staff
10
in the-
administrative officers. How many administrative officers do you have tasked to handle confidential funds?
I have no personal
But you're
knowledge,
the
Your Honor.
chief of staff. You should know.
Your Honor, I was only the OIC.
Before
of the Office
acting
of
as
the Chief of
OIC, what was the position that you held in the office of the vice president?
I am the Director for Administrative and Financial
So
Services.
therefore, as
Office, Your
director
Honor.
for administrative and financial, you would know who the administrative officer is in handling the confidential funds. I mean, it's a big fund, and it's very delicate in its nature that proper care would have to be given to it and attention. So dapat trusted at maasahan ninyo kasi kung magkaroon ng bulilyaso sa pag-handle ng pondong ito, malaking halaga po ang pinag-uusapan natin. You're talking about 125 million pesos per quarter. That's 500 million. So who is the administrative officer that you have tasked from the Office of the Vice President to submit these documents to your chief accountant?
Your Honor, again, I apologize, but I am really not privy to that information, Your Honor.
Will you be kind enough to find out?
I will try, Your Honor. I will check, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. So, Ma'am Julieta Del Rey, matanong ko lang wag naman po sana kayo masasaktan. Kayo ay 34 years na sa Office of the Vice President. Nasusundan niyo po ba yung mga hearings namin dito?
May mga hearings po akong napapanood, Your Honor.
Okay. So siguro nakita nyo rin naman yung ilan sa mga red flags at inconsistencies na napansin po ng committee pagdating po sa mga acknowledgement receipts na naisubmit. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
At ilan din po sa mga lumitaw na mga issues patungkol po sa confidential funds other than the acknowledgement receipts ay yung mga questionable utilization niya. Hindi po ba?
Tama po.
Aware din po kayo. Ma'am, would you say or to a certain extent be able to determine pagdating po ba sa management ng Office of the Vice President, the same level and style of management was exercised during the time the Vice President was Secretary of Education?
Again, Your Honor.
Yung management style po, yung pagpapatakbo ng opisina, magkaparehas po ba yung estilo ng pagmamanage na ipinakita ni Vice President Sara sa Office of the Vice President at pati po sa bilang Secretary ng Department of Education?
Hindi po ako aware kung paano minamanage ni BP ang DepEd. But I am under the Office of the Director of Admin and Finance.
So hindi kayo masyadong aware. What about
No,
you,
sir.
Attorney Sanchez? Was it the same management style? Was she strict? Was she on time? Was she diligent? How would you say? Was it the same?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I cannot compare because I do not have personal knowledge on how she is managing DepEd.
Okay. So thank you very much. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I have no further questions. I just wanted to answer some get some answers from from Ma'am Villa Del Rey. Salamat po, Ma'am.
Thank you.
Ay, pahabol lang. Sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
please continue.
Ma'am Del Rey, so sinabi nyo kanina na susundan nyo yung mga hearings natin, hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
At career official din po kayo. At nag-oath po kayo kanina. Nangako po kayo na hindi po kayo magsisinungaling. Ma'am, kayo po ba yung nakakatanggap ng mga envelopes
Envelopes po na
na may laman na pera sa loob?
No, Your Honor.
Wala.
No, Your Honor.
Kasi sa DepEd may ganun eh. May parang payola silang ibinibigay sa mga pumipirma ng mga dokumento. Sa inyo po?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala po kayo natanggap?
Wala po.
Ever since? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. The next interpellator is Congressman Valeriano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pwede po kay Miss Villa Del Rey ulit. Ma'am, pagod ka na ba, ma'am? Di pa. Kaya pa?
Sir,
Gutom na po kayo.
hindi po.
Okay lang. Kanina po, nasabi nyo, matagal na kayo sa OBP. Tama po?
Tama po.
Since 1990.
Tama po.
So halos 3 dekada na po yun, ano?
Tama po.
You were part of the staff of the Vice President Leni Robredo.
Tama
Noong
po.
nakaraan. Tama po?
Tama po.
And under VP Robredo, you were, of course, involved in the preparation of the budget of the OBP for the fiscal year 2022. Yan po yung bago mag-eleksyon. Tama po?
Tama po.
As part of the finance accounting, you are aware of the contents of the budget of the OBP. Tama? Tandaan niyo po, including 2022.
Your Honor, the preparation of budget proposal is delegated to our budget officer.
Anyway, ma'am, ganito po. Meron akong slide dito, ano lang, Comsec, yung budget ng OBP for 2022 and 2023 because I noticed some jumps between them. Please. Meron kayong slide? Mr. Chair, habang inantay po natin, 1 minute recess, please.
1 minute suspension is declared by the chair.
Nagutom na si, Villa del Rey.
So, ayun na nga mga kababayan, walang saysay. Wala pa rin kakwenta-kwenta. Wala na namang saysay na pagdinig mga kababayan ang nasaksihan natin ngayon sa... Oops, sandali, narinig ko yung sarili ko. Ano ba yan? O yan, narinig ko yung sarili ko. Sandali, tanggalin ko lang. Ano, ipagpapatuloy pa ba natin to? Wala namang kwenta eh. No? Wala lang silbi eh. Paulit-ulit na lang eh. Wala naman sila nakikitang paglabag sa OBP, mga kababayan, pero ayan pa rin sila tuloy-tuloy eh. Paano hindi nila itutuloy yan? Malaki daw talaga ang kitaan dyan eh. Mantakin ho ninyo, mga kababayan, umaabot di umano ng, basta malaki. Mga inatay ng Quadcom. Lagkwenta. Tagay ka PL kana. Lami na siya. Mas gusto ko pa magtagay na lang. Kaya nga ka PL walang kwenta, tama na yan. Ulit-ulit na lang. Kaya nga no? Nonsense idol. Kaya nga putang ina. Buti pa mga kababayan, ikwento ko na lang sa inyo. Tanggalin na natin itong putang ito mga to, animal. Buti pa ikwento ko na lang sa inyo mga kababayan. Ito Sandali Ito. Ito yung mga binigay sa akin ni Kay. Gusto niyo malaman? Gusto niyo malaman mga kababayan? Kung ano yung mga binigay sa akin ni Kay Eric na na mga ebidensya? Ebidensya. Ayan tagay na. Ayan Alam niyo po bang greatest paglilingkod ni Inday sa DepEd? Opo, libre yan at madami siyang naiambag sa kaayusan nito. Kaya nga, bakit sila ganyan dyan sa Quadcom? Bakit nila pinag-iinitan si Inday? 'Di ba? Oh, sarap mapanood ang mga katangahan ng mga 'yan. Wait muna natin kung may ma-contempt idol. Wala nang may nai-contempt na kanina, marami nang nai-contempt kanina. KPL, shout out, Abu Dhabi. All in, sige na lang. Balik-balik mga yawa, buhaya. Gusto nyo ba? Gusto nyo bang Gusto nyo bang malaman kung ano yung mga, naku, tindi ho, grabe ho, mga kababayan, sobra ho. Grabe ho itong mga binigay sa akin ni Ka-Eric. Alam nyo, wala talaga sana akong planong i-content ito eh. Oo. Wala sana talaga akong plano i-content ito, pero pwede naman siguro, pero hindi ko na lang didiinan. Pero wala naman nag-agree dyan, wag na lang siguro, wag na lang natin siguro ito ituloy. Mag-delete na lang ako ng mga message. Total, napanood nyo naman siguro yung live ko kahapon, di ba, mga kababayan? Di ba, yung live namin ni Ka-Eric, napanood nyo naman siguro, di ba? Ay, hindi siguro naman, magigets nyo na kung ano ibig sabihin nun. Di ba? Alam ko naman matatalino kayo dyan eh. Hindi ko na kailangan ulit-ulitin pa sa inyo. Oo, mga buaya yan, watching from Canada, idol, shout out sa mga taga-Canada. Ito, ngayon, mga kababayan, ngayon lang, kapapasok lang na balita. Pero i-content ko na lang. Igagawan ko na lang ito ng short video, mga kababayan. Itong kapapasok lang ngayon na balita. Abang-abangan nyo na lang. Ako na lang hindi manood, KPL. Walang kwenta yan. Paulit-ulit nga eh. Tapusin na natin to. Visit na Quadcom na to. Busted na kayo, wala na kayong integridad, mga unggoy. Alam na propaganda ninyo. Imbestigahan ninyo. Gutom na bayan, bakit mahal pa rin bigas? Ito, tungkol po sa bigas. Antayin nyo ho, nagkaroon po ng mga tampered price sa bigas. Abangan nyo po yung short video ko, mga kababayan. Power tripping talaga itong mga huwad. Okay, pasamantala ko muna puputulin, mga kababayan. Gagawa lang ako ng short video tungkol dito sa mga tampered rice price. Ayan, tama ba? Tampered na mga presyo. Onside breaking news, KPL. Yun na nga. Ito, alam nyo, ipapakita. Ano ko sana to? Sabihin ko sana to sa inyo, pero dami, daming screenshot, mga kababayan, ganyan, layo ko lang para hindi nyo mabasa, ay, grabe, grabing mga buaya, mga kababayan, dalawang buaya dyan, grabe, sobra, nagpapasasa, mga kababayan, tapos pinagamit po yung pera natin, nagkakapal na mukha, sige na, mamaya, abangan nyo na lang yung video ko, yung short video ko, abangan nyo na lang. Nagets na namin, KPL, sana magtagumpay kayo sa ikauunlad ng ating bayan. Salamat sa inyo ni Ka-Eric. Sana magising ang lahat ng tao. Grabe ho. Diyos ko, grabe. Ito, basahan ko kayo ng kaunti, ha? Kaunti lang. I forgot to mention that Sonny Trillanes is deeply involved in this matter. He has been authorized by BBM to serve as the government representative responsible for engaging with the ICC investigators. Kita nyo na? I deeply appreciate your bold heart for truth po. May our good Lord bless you and keep you from harm. Sabi nung resource o source ni Ka-Eric, tawag nito, in-appreciate po. Ayan, si Ka-Eric. Ayan. So, okay. Patikim lang yun, mga kababayan, ha? Okay. Maraming salamat. Mag-iingat kayong lagi at higit sa lahat, mahalin natin ang Pilipinas. Be blessed. Abangan nyo po yung short video ko, mga kababayan. Tol, pambansang loyal, dala ako, gulok. So good tayo, HOR. Tara. Okay, ganito lang muna. Mag-iingat kayo lagi. Bye-bye. Abangan niyo po yung short video ko.